It's such a shame sometimes because I feel like I miss out on certain things that would otherwise be really cool just because I can't get over the stigma of the way that it looks. I know that sounds shallow, but it happens to the best of us. Now, Star Wars Rebels was one of those series where I kind of took a look at it and thought, well, it looks very cartoony, and it just really didn't pique my interest just because of the way that it looked. I thought it was going to be something more for kids, and then I actually sat down to see it perchance, and I thought, holy shit, I can't believe that I denied myself watching this perfect gem. Star Wars Rebels is absolutely outstanding. It is very visceral, it's very mature, I like the themes that they explore, the characters are absolutely fascinating, and at times it could be very sobering and heartbreaking. If you've seen the series, you'll know exactly why, and just how remarkable this version of Star Wars is. Now, of course, there's a lot of criticism to go around about Disney itself and where they're going with the Star Wars franchise, but I think one of the things that we can universally praise about Disney is that they're taking some of the characters from the expanded universe, some of the more obscure characters, and they are bringing them into live action, and that's exactly the scenario here. Now, Ahsoka did this, and, again, there's a lot of criticism for the show, but one of the things that I really liked is they brought these characters from Star Wars Rebels into the live action, and one of the ones that was definitely one of my favorites was this character that we're going to be reviewing today, which was just remarkable, especially if you've seen Star Wars Rebels. It's nice to see this character in live action. So let's dig into it, because this is really late. Today we're going to be reviewing Hot Toys version of Sabine Wren from Ahsoka, the 1/6 scale figure. Let's take a closer look. When I heard that Sabine Wren was going to make her physical debut in the Ahsoka series, I was a little bit weird that they wouldn't get the character translation right. Fortunately, they did, and the actress that plays her, Natasha Bardizzo, is really amazing in this role. Now, this head sculpt is brilliant, definitely represents what we see on screen and the actress that plays her. I like the countenance in the face. The hair is done very well. I love that it's sculpted and it has that deep purple, which is reminiscent of what we see not only in the animated series but in the show. Just a very well done head sculpt here. Just absolutely magnificent what they did to recreate in the actual series. So I'm definitely a fan of this head sculpt. It's really great. If you're a fan of Destiny, you can't help but look at the parallels between the Mandalorian armor and then some of the more unique armors in Destiny 2. It's just very similar. Now, the materials here are done very well. The color palettes are fantastic. The purples offset against the yellows, and the deep rouges are really cool. I love the insignia on her kind of like shoulder blade, which is really awesome. And then, of course, we have that wonderful helmet and the insignias of the Owl Crest, which looks really awesome. I definitely love that kind of like Spartan-inspired visor. It's all blacked out. But I think what is the most impressive thing is definitely in the straps and the buckles. They're all fully functional and they just look really good. They don't look cheap or anything like that. I love the straps, and the holsters are functional. You can put her blasters in there. I am also a very big fan of the gauntlets. I mean, just look at the craftsmanship there. And the good thing is they're not a pain in the ass to keep or take in and out, which is really great. And her blasters are actually very well colored. I mean, overall, it's just a really, really nice package in terms of the overall materials. Again, those gauntlets have a lot of detail to them. I like that they offset very well against the color palette with that kind of gunmetal gray. The armor sets are always really cool in the Mandalorians. And for me, I always like to pose it with the helmet just kind of like in hand. It looks really epic. So as you know, and I always remark on this is a Hot Toys figure, so they always use premium materials. And here, I have to say, I'm more impressed with this figure. They keep getting better and better in terms of the materials that they use. Just in terms of color palettes, the stitching is done very well. Very impressed with the armor sets near the shin guards. Just look at that. That pink offset against the gunmetal looks really great, and then you get a different design on the other, like kind of like gauntlet for the shin guard, which looks really cool. The stitching, like I said, is really well done. The level of craftsmanship is very impressive. Now, you don't necessarily have to run out and mirror this piece, although I have to say the reverse side in terms of the hair sculpt looks very well done. Again, I'm always a fan of sculpted hair. I really don't like rooted hair for, obvious reasons that I've talked about. But the armor set does have a lot of detail on the reverse side. And again, those color palettes are very wonderful. And it just looks really epic the way she's standing there. She does attach to the base with the typical waist guard. No real fan service to speak of, but it's Sabine Wren. But I'm really impressed with the reverse side of the boots. Actually, she does have a little bit of fan service. I lied. Just like in the show when, became a meme. so you don't have to mirror this piece. Now, it's pretty standard at this point. If it's a Star Wars figure, you get a slab, nothing too impressive. But again, what I really like about it is the uniformity, and the figures can actually stand on the bases, which was a problem for Hot Toys in the early iterations. On the lip of the base, it does read Star Wars, and of course, the name of the character, Sabine Wren. Again, it's not broken. You don't have to revolutionize it. I mean, they can get a little bit more inventive with the bases, but this actually works very well in terms of uniformity, and you can speculate as to how much space you're going to use up on your shelves. Now, she is a Mandalorian, so she's packing heat, but one of the more unique aspects of Sabine Wren, or her character, is that it turns out she's force sensitive. Now, everybody was bitching and moaning about this, but I thought it was actually pretty cool. Now, the lightsaber here does have that light up function, which it has the kind of like dongle, so you can light it up with a USB. This is not doing it justice. The actual lightsaber, apart from being really cool green, it's actually very bright, and it has this very nice particle effect to it. So it lights up not only very brightly, but it has this really realistic kind of like tone to it, which is really awesome. I really love this thing, and I'm going to start using these light up functions a little bit more often because they're really cool. So one of the other cool accessories that you get that we see in the show is the Loth Cat, which is named Merle, I believe. And he is pretty detailed. I actually think this is a cool thing that they included. You know, he's a mix between like a cat and a raccoon and a fox and a coyote. I don't know. It's a very weird looking figure, but it is a Star Wars universe, and it's a creature. I mean, it has these like chicken legs with a raccoon tail and ears like a fox. I don't know. It's really cool, but whatever. We have it. It's nice, and it looks very well with the figure. Now, I showed you the lightsaber in hand and the holstered blasters, but I did want to basically give you a better look at them because they're incredibly detailed. And one of the things that I really love about Hot Toys figure is that when it comes to the weapons, even though they're in 1/6 scale, they really do a lot in terms of the overall sculpt, the details, the paint jobs, the textures. They're just done so well, and I think it would be a crime if I didn't showcase them and just give you a better look of what is in store in terms of the overall details. These are just magnificent and very well done. Now, in case you wanted to do a more action pose or more dynamic pose with the actual lightsaber, you do get the kind of wedge effect for the lightsaber. So like if you're swinging it around, it has that nice wide angle effect if you want to do that. And the cool thing is that you just plug it into the light up feature, and then it will also light up this wedge kind of version of the lightsaber effect, which is really lightsaber effect, which is really cool, and they include this a lot. I want to start using these more often. Now, finally, these are some really cool kind of like unique accessories. You do get a communicator with a hologram. I can't remember who she's talking to there, but you do get that hologram figure, which is really cool. Nice translucent light at the bottom, and then of course the figure. And this is a Hot Toys figure that has the purr system, so you do get the tool to move the eyes independently, which is pretty awesome. I'm really a big fan of these, but again, I wish they're a little bit more sophisticated because you always run the risk of getting the googly eyes, and it's sometimes a pain in the ass to get them dead center again, so just be very careful. And of course, as always, rounding out the last bit of accessories are 7 additional hands for various poses and functions, and every hand does have a function, whether you want to hold the communicator, the 2 blasters, the helmet, the lightsaber, whatever you want to do, there's a hand for something, and they're actually very detailed as always, which may seem like a really weird thing. But, you know, my philosophy is that they're really detailed in something as nebulous as hands. That means the rest of the figure, they really put some thought into the engineering and the overall art style and design. So, I mean, you know, it's my little thing. So while I understand that Star Wars Rebels is not for everyone, although for the life of me I can't understand why, this is not necessarily a holy grail piece because it is up to personal preference, but I do gotta say, this is definitely a badass figure, and it's 100% Raudeza approved. So if you're a fan of Star Wars Rebels, if you're a fan of the show, if you're a fan of Sabine Wren, you definitely need to have this one in your collection because it's pretty freaking awesome. And not enough merchandise out there for Sabine Wren, especially in this scale and a Hot Toys figure at that. Now I'm very excited because they are going to be making the version 2 of Ahsoka, which is the white costume, and of course the one I'm really anticipating, which is Hera Syndulla, which is going to be awesome. And I am a completionist. Wait a minute, no, not that completionist, that guy's a fraud and an asshole. I'm talking about a completionist in collecting the figures, so I'm definitely going to be reviewing them on the show as soon as I may get them into the studio. So just look out for that. I also got a backlog of a bunch of stuff that I'm going to be reviewing, so stay tuned because there's a lot of stuff coming in the next couple of weeks. days, I don't know. I'm going to get around to them as soon as possible. But nevertheless, the reviews are coming. Alright everybody, so that's my official review on Hot Toys version of Sabine Wren from Ahsoka, the 1/6 scale figure. As always, I thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next Route Desert Reviews. May the Force be with you.